So let's talk about Battlefield 2042. It's only going to have multiplayer, no single player campaign, but it's dropping at full price. $70 if you're playing on current gen consoles. And of course, if you're playing on last gen consoles, $60. There's also some, I think, a gold edition and an ultimate edition. I think those prices go up to, I think the ultimate edition is like $120. But I just want to focus on the $70 price tag, okay, for this commentary. Is this overpriced? Just multiplayer, right? Plus it's going to have a live service, so there'll be some updates and things we have to buy down the line and blah, blah, blah. You guys know how it goes, okay? Is it worth it? $70. Let me provide some context, okay? Battlefield 3, when that game came out, I paid $60 for that game. And I bought it just for the multiplayer. That was my first multiplayer experience. I had played a few games of Call of Duty and Halo, but nothing serious, right? But I said to myself, Battlefield 3, the game looks sweet. I want to really give multiplayer a shot. See if it's something I can get into, right? And then it was like, oh, there's going to be a campaign too. Okay, well, that's great. But for me, and the way I assessed my value for that game, is I was paying $60 for the multiplayer, and the single player was basically free. Now, is it that way in reality? Of course not. You're paying $60 for both. But again, mainly wanted to play multiplayer. Did I play single player? Yes. That was the first few days. I said I really want to get used to the graphics and the gameplay and, trophy hunt a little bit. To this day, I could not tell you what happened in the campaign. I remember bits and pieces of it, but I don't know the whole story. It was fun, but it wasn't the reason why I purchased Battlefield 3. How long did I play the multiplayer for Battlefield 3? A few hours each day for years. For years. And on the weekends, I was logging 6, 7, 8 hours sometimes. And I remember all that. In fact, if you go back and look at my old YouTube channel, I posted Battlefield 3 for a long time. I remember all the moments I had playing with my brother and friends, and some of you guys we even played together, right? When I look back on my $60 purchase, I think about multiplayer. Okay? And am I happy that I paid $60 for single player and multiplayer? Yes. If it did not have a single player, if I could go back in time and buy the game again just for multiplayer, would I at full price at $60? The answer is yes. Because I saw some value in that experience for me, and I was willing to put up maximum money to get that value as quick as possible. Me. Now, when you purchase Battlefield 3, you might have said, oh, I'm getting, basically I'm getting the single player for $30 and I'm getting the multiplayer for $30. That's how you looked at it. That's not how I looked at it. Because it's all personal at the end of the day. It's about what value the game brings to you as a gamer and how you break down your value assessment of the game you're buying. That's what it's all about. Every purchase I make in life, I have to put a value on it. If I want to buy a shirt, how much is the shirt? How many times am I going to wear it? Is that shirt only good at certain functions, or can I wear it at any time? You have to break things down, right? When you go get a movie ticket from a theater, let's say you spend $12 on a movie ticket, right? You sit there for 2 hours, right? You cannot interact with any of the characters on screen. You're watching. You can't have, you can't pick a different ending for the movie you're watching. That's just a movie. So your value assessment is $6 an hour. It's a 2-hour movie. See that? Just place a value on it. Now, if you're going out there with some family and friends and, maybe it's a long running franchise like the Marvel franchise or the next Star Wars movie, maybe it's worth it. But if it's just a movie, right? Just a movie. Maybe you're bored one night, you got nothing to do, right? Now the value assessment's a little bit different. See what I'm saying? So let's bring it up to now, current day. Would I spend $70 for Battlefield 2042 multiplayer only? Day one, the answer is no. Not in a million years. But why? Not because I'm concerned about the $70 price point. I wasn't concerned about the $60 price point years ago. Right? I'm not concerned about the 70. I am concerned about what that 70 is going to bring to me in my life where I'm at right now. It's not worth it. It might be worth it to you. And if it is, you should buy it. And guess what? If you decide to buy it at $70, it's not overpriced. It's not. If you decide to buy the game at $60, it's not overpriced. If you decide to buy the game at $119, it's not overpriced for you. Because that's the silver lining in this whole thing, guys. You and I get to determine when we buy games. Now, time will tell. When this game launches later on this year, we'll see what the sales are like. They'll see what the sales are like. They're in it to make money. They're swinging for the fences on their day one launch to hopefully make as much money as they can. We determine how much money they make. That will then dictate price drops. See how we're in control? We are the consumer, guys. We dictate the pace of this whole ship. Trust me, if nobody buys this game on day one, they'll drop the price that day. But that's not going to happen. And you say, well, Xonovan, how can you say that this game is not overpriced at $70? Well, if you want to make the argument that games shouldn't be $70 because $70 is overpriced, we can talk about that. But we're just talking about Battlefield 2042. It's going to be multiplayer only, which means if you're buying this game, you plan on playing multiplayer, which means you plan on investing time. This is not a single player adventure. If you sit down and you play Battlefield 2042 for 70 hours, now you're playing at $1 an hour. That's how much your value is. That's your value assessment, $1 an hour. And every second you play past 70 hours, it's pennies on the dollar. And I'll leave you guys with this. This was a quote from Daniel Berlin, design director for Battlefield 2042. He told Eurogamer this: if you look at the DNA of the studio, what we've been doing for so long, we just said, you know what? We're not going to have a traditional single player campaign this time around, but we're going to put all the emphasis and all those resources into building depth into multiplayer, because that is what we do best. I think a lot of you know where I'm going with this. They better have the smoothest multiplayer on day one that's ever been created in Battlefield history. Right? Because they're not saying, hey, we're cutting out single player campaign to cut cost, or, you know, we're cutting out single player campaign because we didn't have a good idea. They're saying we're cutting out single player campaign to throw all of our resources into multiplayer. So it better be absolutely fantastic. Am I going to risk my money to find out? Heck no. But you can. You can. Right? I have no problem with you doing it at $70. I just have a problem with me doing it at $70. Because I don't want to end up being a tester for EA on day one. And I'm afraid that's still going to happen. We'll see when it launches. For those of you who pay $70, I hope it's a smooth ride. I hope they give you a brilliant experience, because that's what they're saying. That's what they're promising here. I just don't think it's going to happen. Hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of The Dose. Let me know what you think about Battlefield 2042. I'll see you in the next one. Be good.